Yeah.
So good to be here. I can't believe I haven't seen you in so long. And you're looking wicked smart with all those law books behind you. Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
I wanted to introduce Tricia White very in a minute. But first I wanted to, it's such a great topic because of Tricia's talking about personal brand today. I wanted to share with people who are kind of following this week to week that I've kind of been offline for a couple of weeks because I have been filling this curly head with like so much information. I spent 3 days in Boston at HubSpot's inbound marketing, which was so cool. And Tricia and I were just talking about, what's the newest this? And Tricia had said that, the video was something, and we'll talk about that in a little while. And then the following week, I just spent 2 days at the Bold Heart Business Growth Retreat, which was amazing. Yesterday at Metro West Conference for Women. So I'm kind of conferenced out, but here's my takeaway that I wanted to share before we kind of get started. Each of those, right? 3 days at inbound, 2 days at Bold Heart, a full day at Metro West. My number one takeaway was the importance of being visible. So many of the people that I work with, and I think that you work with too, Tricia, are solopreneurs or small business, and they really have to show up as that you can't hide behind a brand. You can't hide behind a company, right?
No, not at all. Not today.
I know.
You can't hide behind we.
Exactly. I mean, once in a while I'll say my whatever. Yes. So I wanted to just talk about that. And it's something that I'll be sharing on the Rise Above the Noise group, which I love when people kind of hop in and give their experiences and are just totally honest. And like, here's me and just washed my hair and showing up as I totally am. And hope, and the idea is that as the more we do these things, the more people learn who we are. And I always have Tricia White in my head. It's always the no, like, trust. Every time I hear no, like, trust, I hear Tricia White in my head. So before we get started, so I'll give you the formal introduction that you've written for me here too, but I'm actually going to ask you to step back a little bit. So Tricia White is a brand strategist and a trainer. And her superpower is creating digital marketing strategies for small business owners. Right there. Her website is twhitecreations.com. And today she will be talking about needing a personal brand to grow your business brand, which is like, I'm telling you, so timely for what I'm talking about. But Tricia, I'd love to just talk about how we first met. I don't know, probably 14 years ago, I'm thinking.
Yeah, because we were neighbors, lived across the street. And I think for the first 5 years, we were kind of going back and forth, like we really didn't see each other. We'd wave, things like that, because we lived across, Bay Road, which is like a 2-lane highway. And then I think I met you at the WBN, wasn't it?
So it was, right. It was the Women's
WBN.
Business Network. You had gone over to the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center. And so your, spidey sense was on. Who are the connectors? Where are the people hanging that could use the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center services? And you kind of hooked in there and saw what we were doing there. And then, I have to say 14, 15 years ago when that happened, like what we're talking about today was barely a thing. Like some people had websites, some people didn't. Like some people did email, some people didn't. So this really all just kind of started, which is what happened with me with the Women's Business Network when I had started it as, I had my custom tote bag business that I was running, and then my birthday party business. And so I think that, being part of the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center, you were like, okay, she's connecting people. And we started a little mastermind, similar to what I'm doing with my masterminds now, where you put minds together. How did how did that even come to be? How did you come up with that mastermind kind of idea?
I think because at the time, I think Tammy and I, Tammy is another one of the individuals that we do a lot of stuff with. Tammy and I were both working for the MSBDC, and we had a manager that, as much as she didn't believe in social media marketing, and I think a lot of people thought it was a fad back then, she gave us the support to go forward. So we were blogging, we were on Twitter, we were doing Facebook when our kids were like absolutely dying that we were on Facebook, but we were jumping into these things. And then I think what happened was when our mastermind group got together, it was because there were a number of us that were all connected in that realm, when we were the social media divas. Or even when, because I think you did some stuff with the Geek Girls also.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the time too, Geek Girl Camp was coming up. So it was women in technology, and it was women that were kind of trying to get into this world that I think a lot of men were in, because there was a lot of technology to it. It was building websites, and it was, going in and creating profiles and learning some coding. And it was a little bit of everything, but it all kind of centered around marketing.
And for me, with my science mind, because my background is food science, all of that like tech stuff really fascinated me. And having founded the Women's Business Network, it was so exciting to know that the people who were being drawn to the Women's Business Network or other women in networking could you do this thing called email and reach their clients, or could do this thing on Facebook or wherever it was, or have a website and have resources to grow their business so that they were not all alone in it. And I'm telling you, we were just talking earlier before we started recording, this mastermind group that I've started, and then I'll be starting new ones every month now, is pretty amazing for exactly that reason. It's that you learn together, and then you implement together, and then you get feedback together. And in my mind, I always have this vision of women at the top of this mountain or something, reaching down and pulling up the other people. And you were the person that said to me, Susan, you're doing all this stuff with digital marketing. Small businesses need your help. Maybe you can like step it up a notch. And I thought, well, let me try that on for a little while. And I haven't looked back.
Yeah, no, I think you have the perfect personality for it. And I think it's like anything. I think you look back to all of us when we worked together. I think that was something that we all had, was that kind of personality, but also that side of helping small businesses, helping women identify whether they, wanted to be in business or they just wanted to be hobbyists, and supporting them through whatever their choices were.
Correct. And so, and then I wanted you to do your spiel on personal branding too, but I can't say enough about that. Having looked at my years on Women's Business Network and the collaborative that I'm in right now, She Breathes Balance Collaborative and the Bold Heart Collaborative, it's who you remember, it's because of who they are, or their mission, or their why. You were just telling me a story about teaching yesterday on the Cape.
Yeah, I mean, and when you go back to why is it, I think go back to basic marketing, and in basic marketing, when we're putting things together, we're always saying, well, what is it that you do and how do you do it and why are you doing it? And when you look at that approach, you get a totally different story. And yesterday I had 5 people in my class, and I just went around the room real quick and I said, tell me what you do and if there's anything you want to get out of the class. So people are like, oh, I'm a landscaper, oh, I do this or I do that. So it was very kind of, I don't want to call it flatline, but it was kind of flatline.
Yeah.
And then we were doing a number of processes, and I'm going back into the Simon Sinek of, let's start with why. Why do you do what you do? And how is it that you do it? And then finally, let's get to the what. And to see these people transform and really talk about the passion behind why they do what they do, changed the whole format of who they really were and what their product and service was. Because it went from a flatline approach to sitting there going, oh my God, I would go to you, or I would buy your product, or I would want to know more about what you do, because they were actually showing themselves. They were getting down to this point of, and you and I talked about the word authentic self, but they got down to that core piece of who they were. And when they started to expose that, their business became so much bigger and broader than what it was. And it wasn't just the name of their business anymore. It was the people who are in the business and what they put behind it. And I think that's kind of what happens with small businesses. They hide behind their business of what they do. And what they need to realize is they, as the business owner, and their personal brand has to show through as in why they do what they do.
Yes. Yeah. Do you have other, so that was great. What I'm taking away from you right there is, what's your why? Make
Yeah.
sure people know your why.
Start
Share
with
your
why.
passion. Start with why.
Start with why,
Loves.
because you know what's funny? When you give the why, then people ask what. You know, it's funny because in networking situations, people always come in and go, "So what do you do?"
Mm.
And I'm like, "I'm a landscaper, or you know, whatever. I'm a social media marketer." And
Yeah.
then they go, "Oh, that's nice. That's nice."
Right.
And
There's no follow up. Right.
yeah, because they really don't get into, you know, how do you, no one says, or they'll say, "How did you get involved in it?" Instead of going, why are you doing what you do? You know,
Yes.
what kind of brought you there? I understand, but why? Why do you do it? And I went through the whole process with them and I said, why do I do what I do? Because I am so passionate about small businesses, extremely passionate, because I've been in a small business. I truly believe that small businesses are the backbone to the economy of the United
I
States.
agree.
And you take away those small businesses and you don't have much left. And I think women, especially, are the ones that kind of keep those local businesses going. They're the ones that are, you know, really they're in the school systems. They're working with the community a little more often, and I think they're the ones that help to kind of generate sometimes the income that keeps these local businesses going. So my why is my passion behind really wanting to show businesses that marketing is important, but I'm going to show you how to do it more effectively, more efficiently, and I'm going to teach you how to take your personal brand and move that forward, because when we talk about your personal brand and we put you out there, you end up telling the story of the business, and that's what's going to drive people in.
So what would be some of the tips that you might give people as far as personal branding? So start with the why is a good one. And what kind of concrete things did you tell
You
your
know, the why and you know, going to the how, but I think even with personal branding, today everything is about image. And when I talk about, I'm not talking about image in the form of what we're trying to create. I'm talking about image in the form of you need to be out there, your face on things. And it's funny, you had gone to a bunch of, you just went to Inbound and the Braveheart. I had gone to the Digital Summit earlier in the
oh,
summer
right,
in
right.
August. And one of the things that I kind of pulled out of that was kind of like this disruption um, of not being the norm, and the fact that, you know, you've got to be connecting with people and that your personal brand is really important today. It's not, you know, you can't hide behind your business anymore. It just it doesn't happen. But by doing your brand too, you've got to get your face online. And I'm in the midst of writing an article right now, and it's called "I'm Free Falling into Digital Marketing." And it's not that I haven't been there; it's the fact that I tend to hide my face. I
Yes.
don't like to have my picture taken. I don't like to be on video. I I I constantly critique myself too much. And the thing is most people aren't out there doing that. They want to just see who you are and what you do, and
Right.
they want to be part of the process. And they can't be part of the process if I'm hiding behind a logo. So I think in personal branding, people have to start thinking about getting their face out there. People need to be able to recognize who they are. And it means having a nice image or a nice picture taken of yourself, but it also means having fun and not being so critical about how a picture looks or how you sound or how the video came out. It's about telling your story. And I think if you have a really good story, um, people look beyond the image.
So true. Do you have
Mm.
any examples of who you would say that we all might know that has a great personal brand? I mean, certainly celebrities, but how about in like other days?
No, I think has an amazing brand. And one of the reasons why I went to Digital Summit was Ann Hanley.
Hmm.
Ann Hanley has been in social media marketing. I think she's been really one of the women frontiers in social media marketing. And when I first got involved with it, that was somebody that I followed. And just to watch her on stage with all the things that she talked about having unique products and having a really cool storyline behind what you do. I love just watching her. And here's this woman that is so respected in a very heavily male dominated industry that kind of made her mark in content marketing. And I love her image because Ann Hanley comes forward, but her company is Marketing Profs.
Right.
And, you know, it's her personal brand that kind of carries part of the brand of the business, but she's definitely out there in the forefront. Gary Vaynerchuk, he's the same way. Years ago, who knew what the wine library was? I did. No, because I was buying wine in 2004, and I found this little site called the Wine Library. And here's this guy, Gary V, giving suggestions on wine. Look where he is today. And what they've done is they've kind of taken what they've done and they've amped it up to show people you have to work at it, you have to do it. But if they're giving you all the tips and the tricks on how you can do it, you got to take advantage of it. But they became, he really is the face of, his brand. Richard Branson from Virgin Airlines, go back into people like that whose strong personalities really carry some of their brand for Virgin. You can even go back to Steve Jobs. These are really big, big people. But I think just on a local level, sometimes you have to find people within your industry and say, who are those people that are leaders and movers and shakers? And, when I look at how I built my own personal brand, I always end things with, in search of the best chocolate chip cookie, because I make cookies. I'm a food blogger. I loved it. You know why? Because Ian Hanley ended with really cool glasses, which, by the way, I love your glasses. But I mean, that was really, and if you see Ian, she's always got on really cool glasses, and that was kind of her tagline for a while. And, I know she's moved beyond that, but to really see people in an industry where, you're looking for people to be able to use as kind of your mentor who you follow, she's great and she's personable and she's local, and that's what I love about her. But she's, a lot of the stuff that she's done, I watch what she does and where she's moving with things, because she's out in the market space, as a leader.
Right. Yeah, those are great examples. Thank you. Thanks. So as we're kind of wrapping up, I wanted to just see if you have anything else you wanted to share with us on that topic.
I think just the big thing with personal branding is people have to remember today that your personal brand is what carries your business brand. And it's your friends and your family and the people that are close to you who support you are the ones that really help get you moving to the next level. And when you don't have all these people around you, it's hard to get your not only a personal brand, but it's hard to get your business brand going. So I think the big thing is the more you can start connecting with people, that you can start really, creating a nice circle of people around you, advocates, they turn into your business advocates. And it makes marketing your business that much easier.
Thank you. Exactly. They're your unpaid sales force. And and so to bring it back a little bit to it about how excited I am about these groups that I've started, is that people are working together for 5 sessions and learning the tricks of the trade, right? Like the how-tos and what's your why and what's a keyword and all of that. And week by week, they've got all of these tools. But after that, after the 5 sessions, they've got each other. So very similar to what we did when we had that's mastermind. It would be, things like, hey, I'm sharing this. Can you all share it? So if 5 people share it, and then 5 more people share it, and 5 more people share it. And I know you guys, it's still September, so I can still talk about the Referral of a Lifetime book that I've been talking about on the Rise Above the Noise group. It's that, exactly. It's giving of yourself so that people know who you are and are wanted to tell the world about it. It's your unpaid sales force.
Oh yeah, they're your advocates. They're the ones that go out and go, hey, did you go to this? And check out their website and look at their Facebook page. And they check those things out. But go back to that, know, like, trust, try, buy, advocate. That's what it is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I need to end with a call to action, because my friend Tricia, years ago, when she counseled me, said, always have a call to action. Tricia, what is your call to action? How can people get in touch with you, and what is it like to work with you?
To get in touch with me, go over to my website. All of my contact information is there. It's tywhitecreations.com. The big thing that I love to do is work with businesses to teach them how to efficiently and effectively use their marketing, because marketing can be overwhelming. It can be daunting. It can be, I love the phrase, because we always use it, you and I, you don't know what you don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And if we can provide those steps to make it an easier process, then the success of a business becomes that much easier.
Fabulous. Thank you, Tricia,
You're
for
welcome.
spending the morning with me.
Yes.
I'll see you soon.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.